Now then, yeah, wrong. Just waiting for my printer to calm down. Let me make sure I've just got that. Yeah. Evening. Welcome to the Wednesday sermon. Welcome to the body of the church, the kirk. Let's see if yeah, that looks okay. Let's make sure it's not we're not having problems with YouTube this evening as we did the other night. It's not pixelating, so it's fine. Welcome. What am I going to do first? We'll leave that there. Robert Francis. Evening, Robert. Says Adrian. Friendly Wade Trump case news. 12,000 texts, 2,000 calls, and a grocery shopping at night for hours. 20 miles from home. Media silent. Not quite sure what that means, Robert. Pray tell more. Tell me more. Oh, bugger off. Thank you very much. To Andrew James. Hello, Adrian. What did you have for dinner tonight? Nothing. I'm on rations. Mr. Jollop said, "Oh, good evening, Adrian. Yeah, wrong. And to all in attendance in the body of the kirk, sadly, I'll have to watch on catch up, as I'll be watching the footy, Forest versus Man U. Now I know you're a Man U supporter, Mr. Jollop, but tonight and only for tonight, we'll have to agree to disagree. Forest is one of my. I work just around the corner from the City Ground in Nottingham at Century 106, Metcloughy, and I have one of the Forest shirts signed by the 79 and 80 squads. So I'll be rooting for Forest tonight, but enjoy the match whatever you do. Mr. John says, everyone knows Manchester United are the greatest football club on planet Earth has ever seen or ever will see. Are they sixth this year? GB Patriot, welcome to the body of the kirk. Evening, yeah, wrong. And Adrian, have you seen the National Enquirer article on King Charles' terminal illness? I haven't seen the article. I've seen the front page. And I was going to get to some of your advice about finding out what's going on with King Fat Fingers. We'll get to that in a little while. Thank you, GB Patriot. Much appreciated. The Bovril. Evening, all. Evening, the Bovril. Andrew James, what music did you have on today, Double A, when prepping for tonight's live? I prefer silence, so I can concentrate. I'm of a certain age, you must understand. Have I had any music on today? Maybe a bit of funky stuff, jazzy funky stuff, but apart from that, no. Very little music today. I've had the house to myself. I've been on me Todd, and I've been grafting away. I don't know whether you've seen the video that I uploaded. That we've just got so many videos that we've made that we're not getting a chance to upload because the news cycle is so quick that by the time we've made it, oh blimey, it's changed. So welcome to live number 61. The next live is this coming Sunday, 4th of March. I know Mothering Sunday is a week and a bit away. Happy birthday to all those. Is it leap year day today? February 28th. Is that leap year? No, it can't be. Hang on, where are we? Oh, we're 28th today. Can't be leap year day. I just want to say good evening to the legendary Battenbergers. As I always say, anyone that either plants a super sticker or a super like on the chat for the live this evening gets a mention straight at the very beginning of the next live. So thank you, Rich. Always good to see you in the body of the kirk. Not sure he's here tonight though, but always good to have you here. I've got a very special announcement to make in just a second, but I need to just have a look. GB Patriot, everyone use a VPN and read the article on King Charles's terminal illness. We're going to get to that in a minute. The Napoleon Bonaparte, definitely one of the better names in the chat. Good evening, boys and girls. We all sitting comfortably. It's almost story time. Oh, you're far too kind, Napoleon blown apart. I hope you and the good lady are relaxing and enjoying the live this evening. I've had to have some hibiscus early doors tonight because, as I say, no dinner. I've been a bad boy, so I was sent to bed on my own. No dinner. No tea. No tea, as we say in the north. It was always a threat from my mother. Unless you stop doing that, young Mr. Allen, you'll be sent to bed without any tea. Oh, go on, will you? Will you? Please, sir. To Scotty's Retro channel. Evening all. Evening, Adrian. Evening, Scotty's Retro channel. And Bovril, Andrew. No music today. Oh, you as well. Hang on. Adrian, the Trump case. Wade lives 21 and a half. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Aren't they calling her Farney Wills? Looks like Fanny to me. I mean, these Americans, they can't spell. They can't speak English. That looks like, would it be Fanny if it was two N's? Farney. Posh. Old fur coat, no niggers. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I think the stuff going on. I mean, I just love watching the American politics thing because it's insane. It literally is insane. How can you? Who's that? Who was it? Lee. God, blimey. Lee Jones, a posh bit of Fanny. Then is it? Yeah. She's worth a few bob. But you look at her and you think, all right, I get it. Is she punching down or is he punching up? Can't quite work it out. So let me get into what we're going to have tonight. In the running order, we're going to talk about Jeremy Hunt. It's very important for you. Very important. Because there's a budget next week. And your fags are going to go up. Your beer's going to go up. Everything's going to go up. And you'll get 1p off your national insurance. We'll talk about that in a little while. All the big names. The big names are dropping like flies. Going to talk about the Pope, Chief Paedophile. We've got a big announcement coming soon. Might tell you some of that. Peppa Pig and the Daft Yanks. They're not very bright across the old pond, are they? Have we got any Americans in the house tonight? Sorry, in the body of the Kirk. Because it's Peppa Pig, man. How very dare you? And don't dare touch Colin the caterpillar. There'd be war on. World War III. That's how you started. I'm going to give you Ukraine, the truth. The absolute truth. I've already told you what's going on in the Middle East. I've told you. It's about the Ben Gurion Canal. Told you that 5 or 6 months ago. Did you believe me then? Are you not believing me now? Are you not believing me when BP, that's British Petroleum, are negotiating in Israel to extract the oil and the gas out of the Gaza and the East Mediterranean? You see, I told you last November. And now they're in there negotiating, trying to get it out the ground. So I'll give you Ukraine, the truth. You can't handle the truth. You've not had it. Nobody's had it. I've not seen anybody on YouTube get their head round this. I've done it for you, so you don't have to. And we'll talk about Ireland and air fries. But Ireland, have you seen any of the reportage that's coming out of Southern Ireland? It's proper kicking off. But you're not seeing it anywhere in the mainstream media. So if this suddenly goes to black and the channel drops out and you don't hear from me again, you know I've upset some people. I mean, I was looking at Andrew Tate the other day. I mean, Andrew. He says, oh, if I say this, I might get assassinated. How am man, Andrew? I've been doing this for 40 years, man. I'm still here. But it's all for clicks and likes and shits and giggles online, isn't it? It's just people that, you see these people go, oh, and you go, oh, Evan, cough. Well, do you not know? No. And what I'm about to tell you, it's going to make your hair curl. So, let's get in. I have to say, We are in exalted company. We Battenbergers, we Rollins of the Church of the Battenberg. Because do you know Philip, Duke of Edinburgh? He was technically a Battenberger because his mum, Princess Alice of Battenberg of Hesse, she was a proper Battenberg, like proper Battenberger. Not me and you playing at it and eating cake. Well, better not say playing at it because I don't know what you're doing with yours. I know what I'm doing with mine. Eating the okay. But the Duke of Edinburgh's mother was of the Battenberg. Now, you don't think that... Was it a nickname? I mean, you know what these hoity-toities are like. They're a bit perverted. So, we may have someone that is one of us. I think she's probably dead now. Carked it, maybe. But he's not around. So it was his mother. So she'd be about 140 if she was alive now. I want to talk about Jeremy Hunt. It's not Cockney rhyming slang before you start. I want to talk about Jeremy Hunt because it does sound like Cockney rhyming slang, but you know, I'm just trying to be polite. It's his budget on Wednesday, and I'm going to tell you something in a minute. But seemingly, what I'm hearing is that a packet of fags, 16 quid. I mean, who'd be a smoker nowadays? I've never been a smoker. I've never smoked a single cigarette in my life. No vaping, no wacky, nothing. Don't do it. Never did it. Because it was like £3 odd a packet of fags when I was in school or coming out of school. And everybody would like, oh, I'll just buy one, I'll buy 3, or I'll buy 10. I'm not buying a box of 20. Bloody hell, man. Second mortgage. When we were 15, 16. And then all of a sudden went up to a £5. And a £5, it was just extortionate. Now they're talking 16 quid for a packet of 20. Jesus. At least Dick Turpin wore a mask. Are there any fools still buying cigarettes? Or are they making it so expensive, it's cost prohibitive, you have to go to the vaping? Because do they want you to get popcorn lung? So that's what they call it, isn't it? Popcorn lung, where you take so much vaping, it's just like... worse than cigarettes, seemingly. But 16 quid for a packet of fags. Everybody's vaping, so you know what they're going to do, don't you? Look, if they could tax sex, well, if they could get away with it, everybody would stop. Couple of house bricks, cheaper. They're going to tax. Sorry, I've got loads of gags going on in my head, but I definitely can't repeat them here. We definitely be taken off air. They're going to start and tax vapes. Why? Why? Not why they're taxing it. We know why they're taxing it, because they'll tax you to within an inch of your life. And then when you'll die, they'll come into your grave and tax you again. And you're going to get 1p off national insurance. So they've been... Hang on a second. Popcorn lung. Bronchiolitis. Oh. Tar block tracer, you're a tart. Stop putting Greek and Latin in front of me when I'm, trying to do me thing. It's an uncommon type of lung disease, but it is not cancer. It's caused by a build-up of scar tissue. Either way, vapes cause it. Yeah, you're going to get 1p off your national insurance. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. How very decent of you. Thank you, sir. 1p. Oh, I'll treasure it. I'll treasure it. Whilst Rich Boy, the sixth former, is paying less tax because he's paying corporation tax, not income tax. Yeah, filthy, grubby, caring, understanding 90s type. That's what you are, mate. Rich boy. Couldn't lie straight in bloody bed, that man. So he's not paying income tax, he's paying corporation tax because it's less. Like you're paying, I don't know, 20 odd, 30 odd, 40 odd. I think top rate is 45p in the pound. As where he's going to pay 20. Saved himself 300 grand last year. Makes me want to heave. Oh, cancelled tax is going up by 2.99%. And Andrew's saying the bookies are not even accepting bets. Oh, yeah. Even the bookies don't accept 1p bets. Oh, it's all going to hell in a handcart, to use a polite term. So I don't know what he's doing on Wednesday. What they normally do is they normally leak it. It's a bit like the Tory party's being incontinent. They leak it like in the week leading up. So then he stands on the floor of the House and delivers his, budget. And yeah, Napoleon blown apart. But he cares about the people, obviously, right? Utter Rolex. I'm with you. Isn't it Napoleon Bonaparte's wasn't he born 200 years ago? And I was reading something yesterday about Napoleon Bonaparte, 200 years ago, and what's he most remembered for? Being short and aggressive. That's why they call it Napoleon syndrome, little man syndrome. Because little men just get aggressive because they're short. At least their schmeckle's closer to the ground. Something is just coming in on the wires. The Thomas Kingston, the member of the extended royal family who died. What day is it today? Wednesday, Tuesday, yesterday. Everywhere. It's coming out that he died at his parents' house, and it's non-suspicious. Go on then. It's like the news channels just give you a little bit. What do you call a man with a small penis? Justin. So they only give you a little bit. They don't give you it all, so to speak. And non-suspicious. So what does that mean? Was it the jibber jabber then? Was it a heart attack brought on by the jibber jabber? Or was it just an age thing? Or what was it? Did he fall over and bang his head? Well, no, what's non-suspicious? Just thought I'd tell you that because because we're royalty, you and I, we are royalty because we're Battenbergers. So we're going to stay in the upper echelons of society and take the absolute pish. Jacob Rothschild sniffed it. I mean, it's very posh. Accent was very, very, very posh. And he was just... there was definitely something of the night about him. But he carked it. But, do you know, there was... so I sort of... Hang on. Oh, I say, Towerblock Tracy, will I be wearing a Battenberg crown on Sunday? I may do. I am the King Battenberger. I eat it. I don't do anything else with it. Oh, Rich, stop it. I'm starving. Check it in pink and yellow, wrapped in marzipan. Oh. Yeah, it sends you diabetes anyway. So there was this video of some horsemen, not of the apocalypse, but some horsemen riding their horses, obviously, up the Mall, from like Buckingham Palace up the Mall. And one of them had like a parasol, but it had a black cover on it. A bit like a condom for an umbrella. And there was a white horse. And I thought, hang on a second. There's only... And I don't know how it was in the back of here, but it was, hang on, doesn't... A white horse can only be ridden if the king or the queen is present. And if they're not present, it signifies death. And I was like, oh, is it Charlie? Oh, no. He's only been in the job like a year. Bless him. He's lived all of his life. And he gets the job, and then he's going to be taken out on his shield before the end of 2024 by the looks of it. And I thought, not this quick, man. I saw, did you see the video footage of William doing the investiture of all the MBEs and CBEs and knighthoods and stuff? And he walked in and he was proper knackered. I mean, he could barely stand up. and he had huge dark circles under his eyes, a bit like hungover after a great party the night before. But the royals don't do that. And I thought, what's going on? We don't know where Catherine is, because there's, oh, she's fine, nothing to see here, off you go. And you think, hang on a second, let me be the judge of that. Tell me the truth. I can handle the truth. So Jacob Rothschild, when this white horse floated by, is the king dead? And then it was Jacob Rothschild, and you think, well, the Rothschilds are so wonderfully moneyed up. They're so rich that they're richer than the royal family. So it might be that Charles has got to kind of get, yes, sir, to the Rothschilds. So was that white horse and that parasol with the colour of the regiment wrapped up in black because of Jacob Rothschild? Don't know, because then we still haven't seen Charlie since, although there's been a couple of pictures of him in the newspapers with the back of his head. You can tell it's Charlie, he's bald. And then today, look at Chief Paedophile's been rushed to hospital. The poop on a rope. They're not saying what it was, but it was, what did they say? He was at some engagement and he's collapsed and he's not very well and he's been rushed to hospital. Now, he's an old boy. He's a proper old boy. He's in his 80s now. Not that, I mean, with the wonders of modern technology, it wouldn't surprise me if he lives for the next 500 years. But I just want to ask you a question. How do you feel about the communications coming out of the royal family? I mean, do we believe them? I've sat all day just kind of monitoring Brilliant. Neptune Gamer. Adrian, Charles waits 70 years to get a job, and then 12 months, he's on the sick. That is proper funny. So how do you feel about that communications? It's like, no, there's nothing to see here. She's fine. But it's now I know that this Thomas Kingston dying yesterday, and quite rightly, William, and now, look, I have no extra information. So if Prince William has a different reason for not attending King Constantine of Greece's memorial, then so be it. But you would think that if there was a death in the family, he's the kind of guy that would be straight there and make sure that everything was in order. And if anything could happen, then he would make it happen. But their communication's just a bit, it feels like headless chicken PR. It feels like that they don't have a clue what they're doing. It feels like they're running around. Scotty's Retro Channel says something a bit iffy going on with the royal family. Normally, I mean, they hire the best of the best, and they would have something in place. I was aware of all the different bridges for the Queen Mum and Philip and the Queen. I'm aware of their, how can I put this? I'm aware of their call sign. No, I can't say that. So I'm just aware of stuff. So I know that they prepare to the nth degree. It just feels a bit... So all we're doing is we are assuming and presuming. We have no straight facts. All they have to do is put out a statement from Catherine going, thank you. Like Charles, a bit of video reportage. Oh, thanks for the cards, lads. Yeah, brilliant. Oh, this one's really funny. So we kind of go, okay, we know that you're ill. That eases our concern because it's our monarch. It makes us different from almost every other country in the world. One of the oldest bloodlines, and we're it. Even the Americans fawn all over the royals. I mean, look at Donald Trump. He almost wet himself at meeting the Queen. But we are a sceptred isle. Going to check the pic of Canelo bending and the... Ooh, has Canelo fought recently and lost? Interesting. Who's that? Neptune Gamer. Because I know that they hire the best at PR. They hire the best because they have to. They've got so much that they have to deal with. But you've got this week, they haven't got a clue what they're doing. That tells me there's a lot of stuff going on in the background. Because ordinarily, you can tell what's going on by what they don't say. And it would be very easy to do a picture with Kate and the kids. When's half term? Is it next week? They can, because I thought that they went to Sandringham. William, Kate, and the kids went to Sandringham because it was half term, but they go to posh schools. The kids, not William and Kate. Arse. So, why aren't they releasing anything? So I get to think, well, okay, it was planned abdominal surgery. So they would know what's going on, unless there's been a complication, unless they nearly lost her. Because I'm hearing those rumours that she was in a bad way when she was in hospital. They nearly lost her. But then again, I don't have anything to say that's fact. So if you're managing, this is reputational risk to the royal family, because I don't think William's going to be able to keep this all together. I mean, we could be looking at the royal family over. I know there's that's interesting. So according to Town Block Tracy, Prince William and Kate Middleton's code names are Danny Collins and Daphne Clark, whilst Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's are David Stevens or, hey, it's those two again, code names. Yeah, thank you, Rich. Remember the Queen Mother and the fishbone story? Yes, she got a fishbone caught in the old throat. But she used to ride everywhere on a bloody golf cart. Didn't have to walk anywhere. Dan Payne, you didn't just say that. Say what? Probably. So, as GB News has been saying, the stuff online, certainly in America, there's varying rumours going around about the king, nothing about Kate, and that's the thing. I think if they do leave it until the middle of March, when we get to anywhere near Easter, people will be tearing their hair out. Charles hasn't got much left. So, all the high Hegeians, as the Scots would say, they're dropping like flies. I'm waiting for another one. Mind you, well, we'll get to the Americans in a second, because I do believe America is literally eating itself. The corruption. It's like Gotham. America is like Gotham City. It's just full of crooks. It's corrupt. I do love me Batman. But we'll kind of... the thing I was going to tell you at the beginning is that Harriet Harman. Yeah, Harriet Harman. She's come out and said MP should work from home. Which home, Harriet? The one the taxpayers pay for? No, the bloody shouldn't. Because this furore that's been going on for the last 12 to 18 months, when, we're all in lockdown, we're all having a tough time. Some people were getting jibber-jabbered. Some people were getting their kids jibber-jabbered. But we were all having a tough time since March 2020. And they're saying, oh, everybody, right, you've had it easy, right. All the uncivil servants, you can't stay at home, you slackers. Get back into work. And now Harriet Harman's saying, oh, well, the MPs can work from home. No, they bloody can't. Slackers. It's not like they're doing a fair day's work, are they? For hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds. And yeah, as Rich says, second home, who's paying for that then? Oh, Terry, walk fit. Back of the church. I'll have one of the nuns just dress you down. Late indeed. Funny though. What was I going to talk about? Yeah, let's get into the Americans. I mean, honestly, they're as thick as pig shit anyway. But honestly, nobody put their hands up and said they were American in the church earlier, so I can get away. It's my sermon. I'm next to God. Cleanliness is next to godliness, let me tell you, so to speak. Somebody said. Oh yeah, what's that? So sorry, forgot. Big announcement. So 2 weeks today. I'm just telling you this. I might be a bit late for the live. I've been invited to PMQs. I know. So if it kicks off, if you're watching on the telly, if it kicks off and some northerner starts shouting tasty stuff down at, oi, rich boy, sixth former, stand up while I talk to you. Oh, you are. Moi. I mean, I know Guy Fawkes got under there, but I'm going in. I've been invited in. Can't tell you any more than that, but I'm going to PMQs 2 weeks today. That's how I know that, what's his face? Jeremy Hunt, Cockney rhyming slang. Hang on, who's that? Hello, Shannon. Hi, Adrian. Sorry I haven't been around. Life's been a bit up and down more recently. Hope you're well. I've been keeping counsel, though, in the vids. Shannon, you're most welcome. Good to have you back. Good to have you back in the body of the Kirk. So, PMQs, 2 weeks today. Next Wednesday, it's the Cockney rhyming slang, caring, understanding 90s type. And then, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do it, because obviously they're going to say to you, you can't see anything. Like, what? Well, you can't swear at them. You can't, as we say in the Northeast, hoy abuse at them. Oh, can you imagine? So I'm going to be shown around the Houses of Parliament. I'm going there into the members of the public gallery. And there is something coming that for the channel is something quite big. I can't make the announcement yet, but in principle, a very, 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 very good name could be coming on the channel. But I don't want to tempt fate. But in principle, they have agreed. I've got to scope it out and organise it and look at the logistics and stuff. So, I'm not flirting with anybody. She's not here. She's left me. Vivian Kenyon, love to be a fly on the wall. Me too. I mean, I don't know how they're going to let me in. I mean, my security's fine, but good evening, Adrian and Mrs. Allen. Apologies for being late on parade. Mad Matt, UK, you utter tart. Half an hour late? Holy Jesus, man. What is with you lot? Was there something special on the telly tonight or something? Or were they giving away free beer at your local pub or something? I'm knocking my pipe out here for half an hour. Loads of people just saunter into the church going, I'm here! I'm here! And I'm giving you my sermon. Yeah, Rollins. Is it Scove? God blimey. Scotty, I wish it was Scove. He wouldn't, I wouldn't let him touch me with a barge pole. I'm not going to let you try and guess or play guessing games, but for me, it is an honour. It's going to test my interviewing skills, definitely. But let me tell you, the psychic wrongin'. No, you can't have the lottery numbers. I'm not that psychic. But psychic wrongin', I'm guessing and hearing and intuiting. I'm remote viewing. Hang on, Shannon, what are you saying? What's he replying to? Dale's still here. I'm punting for Jeremy Vine. Oh, interesting. Interesting. That would be interesting. You never know. So I'm remote viewing, and Digger, as he's known, Rupert Murdoch, the Aussie. Well, he's decided from his 200 million pied-à-terre in Montana that Rishi is done. The rich boy who thinks he's clever, he's done for. And Rupert has asked, his loyal general, Rebecca Brooks, to organise interviews with potential Tory successors. So, for all the machinations that we watch in, PMQs today, and I thought it was a bit meh. Rishi's gone, done. And you never guess who is very much in favour. Kemi Badenoch. She's already met the big lad a couple of times for a cuppa and a slice of Battenberg. Because they're into that. Cake. And she's been talking to Rubat. Because you know that an officer in the SES is a Rubat. Yeah, they're Rupats. So Kemi has been talking about her vision for the UK once Sunak has bagged off and left to spend more time with his green card in California. But if he's going to get something in the House of Lords, he's not going to go far. No. I mean, you don't need the money. He's after the power and the prestige, being a lord, rich boy. So, come the election, Murdoch won't allow the Sun, that's the newspaper, not the big orange ball in the sky, although he is that powerful, he's not going to allow the Sun to endorse Keir Starmer. Do you want to know why? Because Starmer was Director of Public Prosecutions when 25 Sun journalists were arrested for paying public officials for stories. All of them were cleared. But Starmer has since said, well, sometimes juries get it wrong. Obviously, as the country will painfully discover in November, so do voters. So, not sure whether he's going to go for this May election. I mean, he's been teasing Starmer for 3 or 4 months. But you never know. But so it looks like that the Kingmaker has decided that rich boy, he needs to go off. Foxtrot Oscar. And Keir Starmer, no, not going to endorse that idiot. He did us down with 25 journos. No, bag it off. Keep your eye open. Talking about MPs, as we were, and stuff. I mean, it's just the entertainment arm of the military-industrial complex. It's entertainment for the uglies. The Rochdale by-election tomorrow. Now, I've got to say this, that due to restrictions on reporting, we can't talk about that by-election. Can't. Not any further, anyway, until 10 p.m. tomorrow night, once the polls have closed. And we will. So, one of the candidates at the Rochdale by-election I worked with previously. So, I've knowledge. Can't say it now. Got to wait until after 10 o'clock tomorrow. So can we talk about old and older American politics? Because I literally watch these people and think, how thick are the Americans? How utterly. Now I get the CPACs. I get the donations in the tens of millions for their political heroes, shall we say. And that's why Nikki Haley's staying. I mean, she's getting absolutely battered in the primaries, Your Honour. And that's not a euphemism before you start. No. Could be, though. Be funny. She's getting a battering in the primaries. And she's still in the race. I mean, she's got no chance of winning. Absolutely zero. Even her home primary, she just not the lickings of a dog, man. But why is she staying there? Well, there's two things. One, the longer you stay in the race, the more donations you get and the more millions you get. Because if they think you're going to be president, which she's not, then they give you loads of money. Because then when you're president, they go, remember me? Yeah, I gave you 100 million. I need some help, please, Mr. President. Bovril. She's getting a battering, but not in the Battenberg ring. There you go. Napoleon blown apart. I knew you were sharp enough. The second reason is she's waiting for something to happen to the Donald. She's just sitting there going, right, when's the assassin? And that's what she's waiting for. She's just literally sitting there because if anything happens to the Donald, and look, America's got form for shooting presidents. I've said to you before, you don't believe it was that lone shooter out of the book depository, do you? Lee Harvey Oswald, my hairy backside. No, there was a few on the team to take him out. That to make sure it happened. And that's why they went, oh, the grassy knoll. Yeah, there was somebody on the grassy knoll. It wasn't. He was down in the sewers. Easy shot for anybody that's got any experience of shooting. Took him out. Yeah, I agree, Rich. What the US are doing to Trump around election interference is unreal. I mean, they've tried every which way. They've tried to bankrupt him. So a judge is sitting there going, right, Donald, have you been perpetrating fraud? And the Donald goes, well, no. What do you mean? Oh, you overinflated the worth of Mar-a-Lago. You reckon it's worth about 500 million. Yeah, it is. It's bloody huge, man. When I bought it, it was 18 million. No, it's only worth 18 million. And you borrowed that money from the bank. Yeah. And, well, you overinflated the worth of your properties. That's illegal. He was like, oh, look, I took a loan out from the banks. I paid them back with interest in full. There's no victim here. What are you trying to do? Oh, that'll be $354 million in fines. And then, oh yes, I forgot, a bit of interest on there, lop another 100. So there's nearly $500 million. And the Donald's gone, all right then, lads, right, I get it, but we're going to appeal. So I'm not going to pay you the money. And the courts have gone, you better stump up the cash, mate, because it's 85 grand a day interest. So stump it up, shut up. So, like, the Donald's got to come up with $500 million cash. Maybe he wants to do another loan with the banks against Mar-a-Lago. But so Nikki Haley, I get it, because she thinks something's going to happen to the Donald, and then she's the only nomination left. But if you look at the primary in South Carolina, Biden 23% of the vote. Was he awake? Funny. Yeah, if you say that with a kind of southern accent, it sounds funny. The banks do their own assessment of properties used as collateral. So where's the problem? It's the Democrats. New York is corrupt. All these billionaires are going, right, lads, out. We're not staying in New York. It's corrupt. That could happen to any one of us. A judge just has to sit and go, what are we doing today? We need some money. Is New York bankrupt yet? Do you want half a bill? Do you want $500 million? And they'll all go, yeah, can you give us that? Yeah, not a problem. Just bring some people in. Just make sure they're rich. And they've got liquidity worth about $1 billion. And I'll just fine them for shits and giggles. I mean, so Biden got 23% of the South Carolinian vote. Uncommitted, that's those that are like, no. 75%. But they're all of a sudden, so the postal votes will go through the roof, because that's what happened in 2020. They cannot allow the same thing to happen in 2024 that happened in 2020. America will just implode. It'll just end up in the Atlantic, and people will not trust them. I mean, I know Volodymyr Zelensky is loving all the money, because I saw the bag of Coke. Well, no. I saw something resembling sugar on his desk in a video, and nose was a bit twitchy. They're all at it. They're all just laundering money through Ukraine. They're all at it. And the American taxpayer knocking their pipe out for the odd pound or two. Mind you, they just have to sit the judge in a court, and the judge will go, right, lads, how much do we need? We'll get it, don't worry. I'll get it by this afternoon. Just get some rich people in. I'll fine them, don't worry. It was only a parking fine, don't care, $500 million. What, for a parking fine? Make that 2. It's nuts. Now, I told you months and months and months ago that you need to keep your eyes open for a Black Swan event. Now, wasn't Japan, wasn't a squaddy in America standing in front of the Israeli embassy saying free Palestine, and then pours petrol, whatever, some combustible on him, and then sets himself alight. Have you seen the video? I have a really strong stomach. I've seen some awful things in my time, close up, and so I have a really strong stomach. But that was... So let's just park that for a second. I will come back to it. Yeah, Zelensky loves the old marching powder, the old Colombian. Fine, baby. I was going to talk about, this utter shit show, because it's the only word to describe it. This utter shit show in Parliament last Friday. And the bad stuff always happens on a Friday, because you've forgotten, hands up, I'm the same as you. You've forgotten on a Monday morning what happened on a Friday night. So what did they do? They didn't want to vote. They didn't want to vote for a ceasefire in Gaza. They didn't. For varying reasons, which we'll not go into now. That is too funny. Andrew James, why does Zelensky dress like a Poundland Castro? That is wonderful observation. Because he's always wearing green. He's always wearing those fatigues. Doesn't wear a suit. It's almost as if he's playing a part. I've seen him dancing. That's proper unmanly. But he was here for a press conference with Rich Boy. And Rich Boy was, yeah. And the camera was on Zelensky. Off his tits. And people they're not, look, people don't pay attention to what's in front of them. It's 2024. We know what somebody looks like when they're off the tits on gear. So the vote last Friday. So the Tories, the Labour, the SNP, everybody in Parliament, they didn't want to vote. So what did they do? They just cause such ructions that Lindsay Hoyle, the Speaker, who's supposed to be impartial and make sure there's smooth running of Parliament. What? So for the last 5 days, Lindsay Hoyle's going to resign today. Lindsay Hoyle's going to resign today. No, Lindsay Hoyle's not going to resign today because it was all part of the plot. And nobody at PMQs today, even the SNP, Stephen, whatever his name is, he didn't stand up and go, "Oh, you bunch of bastards. What happened to the vote on Friday?" Nobody. He didn't. Why not? And even Rich Boy mentioned it, and I was thinking, we get it now. We get you. None of you wanted to vote for it. In case you paymasters, we're going to pull the funding. They should have been right back at that Monday morning when they got back into work. Bunch of lazy tarts. But they didn't. So they're not going to do that now. They're not going to vote for a ceasefire. They've got Hungary and I think Austria voted Sweden into NATO. They want Ukraine in NATO. And I'm going to tell you why they want Ukraine in NATO. I'm going to tell you what's happening with NATO. I'm going to tell you why Putin's pissed off with the West and NATO. Because I've worked it out. And it was really easy because it was hidden in plain sight. Anyway, I told you last year about a Black Swan event. Klaus Schwab has been interviewed yesterday. And he's now mentioning a Black Swan event and new viruses as part of the Great Reset. He talks like that in private. He's from over here. So after the primary this week, President Joe Biden will be in 3 states today. Unconscious, semi-conscious, and confused. Can I have a little ice cream, sir? So watch out for the Black Swan event. I think it will... Oh, I don't... See, this is kind of a historical document. This stays up and it stays there in like in a year, 2, 3, 4, or 5 years. You'll be able to look at that going, bloody hell, Adrian. We don't know what's coming in 2024, but I did make the prediction that 2024 was going to be 2023 on steroids. Let's get to Ukraine. And I need you to listen to this and re-watch it again. Shannon McBride, Adrian, can I sound stupid and ask what a Black Swan event is? A Black Swan event is something that takes place unexpectedly. Nobody can see it coming. Nobody had any prior knowledge. 9/11, Black Swan event. 7/7, Black Swan event. Something so incomprehensibly huge that nobody could have figured it out. Nobody could have seen it coming. So you have to look. What's the old phrase? If America sneezes, Britain catches a cold. You've got to watch American politics, because what they're going to do, they're going to shaft our NHS. And they're going to get to a point where they go, oh, we can't put any more money in the NHS, man. It's costing us too much. We're going to need you to take insurance. And they'll transform it over maybe 20 years or so. So you've got to watch America and what they're up to, because those boys are all about the Benjamins. They're all about the money. So there's something going on in the House, around $60 to $65 billion that they want to give to Ukraine. And the House is not allowing them because they want checks and balances in place. They want to know where the billions are going. And Zelensky's like, give me the money, I need more Coke to drink. I need more. Any more Coke, you'll be bloody marching into Poland. So, on the one hand, you've got the politicians going, oh, come on, lads, just give them the money. Zelensky's going, give me the money. And Putin's sitting there going, yeah, bunch of, it's caring, understanding 90s types. Now, there's this saber rattling going on between America and Russia, between NATO and Russia. And Sweden being brought into NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, squeezes Russia at the top end of Europe. Putin's not very happy, but he'll take it because what he's after is something very different. So what are they going to be fighting over? There's only one answer. There's only ever one answer. Look at the Middle East, I've already told you. Gas and oil under Gaza. BP's in there negotiating because they want to get their drills in the ground. Now, there's a lot of billions of dollars worth of rebuilding in Gaza and in Ukraine and various other places. I mean, look what they did in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Americans were in there. Halliburton, billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of contracts went to Halliburton. Just Google it. So, what they're after, what Putin is after, and what Ukraine and NATO are after, is energy self-sufficiency. What's that when it's at home, Adrian? Well, with the exemption of Russia, all of the other literal countries of the Black Sea, just Google Black Sea. Tabloid Tracy's saying, Dan Wootton set to sue Carol Vorderman and Emily Maitlis. That's old news. That was yesterday. We'll get to that in a second. This is important. So, the Black Sea, it's surrounded by Turkey in the south, Crimea in the north, with a bit of Bulgaria, and a tiny bit of Russia. So what they're after is energy imports. Now, this could change because Turkey has estimated that the Black Sea, Just the Black Sea holds recoverable reserves. Are you sitting down? 10 billion barrels of crude oil and 2 trillion cubic meters of natural gas. That's under the Black Sea. So you've got Turkey at the bottom, you've got Crimea at the top, which is part of Ukraine, and Russia is saying to the West, you can foxtrot Oscar. We want Crimea. You can stick it up your jacksie. And that's what Ukraine wants. Ukraine wants Crimea because that's where all the oil and the gas is going to come up. So Crimea is the battleground. That's what they're fighting for. This is not, that's why they want to go to war with Putin, because they're upset with him because of the Tucker Carlson interview. In the Tucker Carlson interview, Putin was just being dead straight. He was being dead truthful. Didn't have to lie. And then old Sniffy kind of creaks into vision. Oh, can I have another ice cream, please? That's what it's about. It's about the gas and oil under the Black Sea. Now, it may take another 5 or 10 years to recover. It depends on their just washing and laundering billions of dollars through Ukraine. It's known as the most corrupt country in Europe. And the American taxpayers are not doing anything about this. So the American politicians who seemingly go in and get maybe 100 and odd grand a year pay, and after 5 years they're worth about 20 million. How does that work? Tax breaks? My hairy backside. They're all at it. They're all at it. They're all corrupt. But the American taxpayers are not saying to their politicians, well, yeah, filthy old tart, I know what you're up to. And Pizzagate is just a distraction. It's all a distraction. So watch for it. Just watch how it evolves around Crimea. Turkey's fine. It may end up getting embroiled in something it doesn't want to get embroiled with. But it's all going to kick off in the Black Sea. Sweden's in NATO. So there are 34 countries now. It's all going to kick off big time. So watch the Black Swan event. And the Black Swan event will legitimize whomever backing Ukraine. Because Ukraine's only just been given enough not to lose the war, but they've not been given enough to win the war. Russia can. Russia's worth trillions and trillions and trillions of rubles and dollars because of all the energy that it owns. I mean, look at the Nord Stream pipeline that was cut off. That was Russian, but the Americans, it's come out that the Americans have done it. And wait till I start the videos over the next couple of days with all the intelligence that's coming out of the Ukraine head of intelligence. It literally blew my mind what they're trying to allege Vladimir Putin's done, and it's not. It's the bloody Americans. So just keep that close to your chest. Be aware. Black Sea, you know where that is. It's kind of in the middle of Crimea, Turkey. It's quite a big sea. What else was I going to tell you? So that is the truth, the absolute truth of what is going on with Ukraine. Russia wants Crimea. I think that may be a warm water port so they can get the oil out and then get a pipeline away. Because remember, I told you this before, 22 years ago, Putin flew into George W. Bush's ranch in Texas and they did a deal to get a pipeline out of the Caspian Sea down via Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, through Afghanistan, through the Tora Bora mountain range. And the Yanks were telling you in the mainstream media that they were bombing the Tora Bora mountain range to try and find Osama bin Laden. And they weren't. They were trying to flatten it so they could get the pipeline through the Tora Bora mountain range down through Pakistan to a warm water port so that they could distribute the oil. And you thought they were chasing Osama bin Laden. Wow. So the Caspian Sea, which estimates 20 years ago, they reckoned there was current consumption levels 20 years ago, there was 300 years worth of oil and gas under the Caspian Sea. That's why Russia went into Afghanistan in the 80s, because they wanted to get the oil out of the Caspian Sea. For all these intellectuals that are writing books and stuff, I should be writing books, honestly. But people will say, oh, no, Adrian, you're full of shite. What do you know? Well, I know the pipeline was negotiated at George W. Bush's pipeline at ranch in Texas. Caspian Sea. That's what 9/11 was all about. Oh, and hiding the trillions of dollars that had gone missing out of the American defense. So this time, just keep your eye on the Black Sea. But it might be something that happens somewhere else in the world to give America and or the West legitimacy to get in there. Napoleon blown apart. Who really took out Navalny? I'll tell you, he died of a bloody heart attack. Nobody took him out. The head of the intelligence in Ukraine has said, oh no, he died of a heart attack. And can you see how the West's twisted it? So that they can get into Russia and take Putin out. He leaves these idiots in his wake. Old Sniffy can't even remember his own bloody name half the time. They've got to put marching powder on his cornflakes to get him up in the morning. Oh, can I have an ice cream? Putin's and honestly, 20 odd years ago, before all these idiots start coming out going, I'm fucking alpha male, I'm an alpha male. Here, Tate, Foxtrot Oscar. I don't have to tell people I'm a hard boy. I don't have to tell people I'm intelligent. I get on and tell people what the truth is. I wouldn't have a Bugatti if you threw it at me. I've known hard men who didn't need a car. They only ever went anywhere by cycle. Do you know why? Because they could get away quick. They always make sure that the hard people, the real hard people of this world who had contracts out on them, they would come into wherever by a different route every single day. And they'd go home by a different route every single day. This is just people in social media, man. They don't know what it is. My hairy arse. So, for 20 odd years, 9/11, the reason why the radio station, Real Radio in South Wales, and the South Walian people that used to listen to me will know, the reason why they didn't want me going on air, because they knew I was going to say stuff that was the truth. Oh, Adrian, we might not put you on air tonight. Why not? Well, you might say something. Obvious, that's my job. So 20 years ago, 9/11, I went on that night and I said, here's the truth. You might not like it, but here's the truth. If the Americans can shoot their own president, what else can they do? And there was Donald Rumsfeld standing up at the White House telling everybody, hey, we've lost some money. What, a fiver, tenner, 20? Trillions. Trillions gone missing. Wasn't 2 days later, but it wasn't far. It wasn't far away. Took them to court, Shannon. Wasn't sacked. Took them to court. They shit themselves. So there's subtleties and there's subtleties and there's subtleties. And I will guarantee you that if this upsets the powerful, then this will disappear. I guarantee you. They're not going to have some hairy-ass northerner tell you the truth. Gareth Henshaw, I remember listening. They blanked out what you said and then cut to about 5 minutes of ads. I think the Love Hour was brought forward as a result. Well, as I've said to you before, strong talent needs a strong manager. There's very few strong managers. Yeah, Donald Rumsfeld made that statement about the cash on the 10th of September, day before. 9/11, here we go. Let me get to some of your comments. Because there's... oh, by the way, you're wrong uns. There's 160 watching here and only 60 likes. Come on, smash the likes. It tells the algorithm we like this live. And then YouTube promulgates it. It just puts it in front of loads of people. Because it's not very bright, the algorithm. To the BBC Corruption Unearthed video that I uploaded today, a lot of engagement. Duke Ryder said, Adrian, I refuse to pay a single penny to the BBC. Billy Whippet says, I've not paid for years. Bugger Boys Corporation. Technical term. From an anonymous user, Adrian, I thought it was Tim Westwood, though I do know for sure Evans is a wrong 'un and a money grabber. He was asked by a mate of his, John Grubby Chalice, a stagehand who's worked with bands such as Queen since the 80s, to compare Concert at the King's in Devisers in 2017. Evans wanted 50 grand of the 250 which would be raised. When told, we can't pay you that, he threw a temper tantrum, did his own festival near the site called Car Festival South at Thruxton. He thought that he was worth 50k for a few hours' work. Very interesting. I have heard that story or a similar story. And if somebody, I think you said Tim Westwood. No, I did. I looked just before I came on air. And there's been no arrest for Tim Westwood. Last year, BBC News and Guardian investigations uncovered multiple allegations from 18 women of serious sexual misconduct and abuse by Westwood. He's denied those allegations. There's no arrest. So it might be NFA as it stands, but, you know, the wheels of justice grind slowly. Andy Sinsky, interesting read last week about a long Charlie 19, Adrian. Have you seen it? No, Andy. Can you give it to me? Be much appreciated. Thank you, Rich, as always. Have a good night, Rich. Good to have you in the body of the Kirk. So, Andy Sinsky, if you could send it to me, that would be much appreciated. Dan Payne, today been watching these YouTubers showing collected videos of BBC agents going around trying to collect their taxes. BBC licence permit. Boiled my blood the way one forced his way into a house. Can't do that. I'll have to have a look at the video, but there are, you don't have to let them in. And if the government's backing people, if the government's saying you don't have to pay your licence fee, sorry, all this excitement, has got me coughing now, to Just Informed, many folks don't know that the BBC operates various private companies, such as BBC Productions and BBC Studios. These companies earn millions of pounds besides the income of the TV licence tax. Since they already operate private companies, they should be entirely private and stop harassing the citizens for money. I agree. But there is something that... what happens to all the old shows and the old footage and the archive that the BBC has? Because technically... what's that? Right of implied access revoked. BBC Studios and... Wow! BBC Studios earned 2.1 billion last year. Wow. So what happens to all the stuff that the licence fee is paid for? Because technically it's our taxes. So that should belong to the people. Hang on a second. I'll get me a hibiscus, that'll sort me out. Scotty's Retro Channel, keep up the great work, Adrian. Thank you, Scotty. Vix Tex, follow the money. It's always about the money. These are, I think, some of the ranty videos I've done. Old dear Rado, maybe? Ado? No, old dear Ado. 10 years not paying or watching or listening to that evil outfit. I don't. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm so busy. I very rarely get a chance to sit down with a new Mrs. Allen and kind of go, do we want to watch anything? No. Do we want to watch a film? Oh, let's buy it. You can buy it on Amazon Prime, or you can buy it anywhere. So Dan paying Bagsy. Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah, nice money if you can get it from the BBC, let me tell you. Lowlander says, bloody right. They're all at it. Money, BBC. Andrew James, the Cook Report did an investigation on payola. Oh, yeah, it's the BBC corruption video that I uploaded today. Can I remember that Cook Report? Now, payola is an American term, because what the record companies used to do is they would take a record round to a radio station and say, look, can you play this for us? And by the way, there's $10, $5 or however much. So it was always, it was the equivalent of the political brown envelope. But that America was payola. Interesting. Try swallowing a spoonful of jam or marmalade. Helps the cough. Kill me diabetes. So Randy Rolex 7. Now when I'm doing live and when I list it, it's, well, no, I can say it on here, Ranty Bollocks. I've got to say Ranty Rolex because there are certain words that the YouTube algorithm doesn't like, but because I don't monetize the lives, I can say it. Ranty Bollocks 7. Comic Mania, Adrian, they used to throw unruly princes out of the castle towers back in Longshanks' day. Perhaps we should turn the clocks back to those days. Oh, it's about Harry and what's going on. Somebody, I think it was Dale Steele, said, look, I predicted that Harry was going to be king. Can you imagine the chaos, the utter chaos there would have to be for Harry to become king? This country wouldn't be worth living in. I mean, I wish everyone a long life. I wish everyone well. But can you imagine Ginger Bollocks becoming king of this country? There would be civil uproar on the streets. And his missus, can you imagine? She's insufferable as it is. She would be even more. Mind you, they might go off sailing on a yacht. She likes that. Yachts. So I'm told. So can you imagine those two swanning back into this country going, oh, hello. It's like the film King Ralph. Oh, I'm back, boys, I'm back. Let me be king. Oh, here's the queen. Honestly, I would stab my eyes out with a bloody pencil if those two idiots came over from Montecito and somehow, because this does happen in royal circles. I mean, it does happen. There's, people have been beheaded and everything over hundreds of years. They've got the power. God, Dale, I just, when you said that, I couldn't take it. Scotty says, let's go fucking mental. Mental. Foxtrot mental. That works. So, GB Patriot. Adrian, use a VPN and you'll see what Charles is dying of. I kind of have. Didn't need a VPN. People were posting it online. Well, I saw the National Enquirer, and then wasn't it the National Enquirer that predicted somebody would die 6 months later, and 6 months later, virtually to the day, they died. And they're saying Charles has got 6 months left. So it's August then. And I think possibly Dale Steele that said round about autumn, something's going to happen. The uncertainty of the last 3 years is, I mean, I don't know about you. I'm as solid as a rock. I see life for what it is and enjoy it as much as I can. But this instability of life, we've never known anything like this. We always had Queen Elizabeth on the throne, always. She's not here anymore. We've got Charlie who's waited 70 years and now he's been in the job a year. He's on the sick. I jest, of course. And I wish the king well. I wish him a long life and I wish him well. We need him to be around for 20 years or so just to kind of stabilize everything. Yeah. Mr. Beasley, truth is always stranger than fiction. I agree. Scotty says, it's worrying times regarding the royals. I hope that everyone concerned is okay and I wish them all well. I agree with you. I do agree with you. We need some stability for 10 to 20 years. We need a generation of stability. William's still going to be a young guy. He'll still get 30 or 40, maybe 50 years on the throne. So let's just have a few years of stability. We wish the king long life and we wish him well. Robert Francis said, Adrian, the thing that concerns me about the king is that he got teary about letters of support that normally would only occur in difficult circumstances, e.g. threatening circumstances. Oh, yeah, the chap in front of the Israeli embassy got wide coverage. Now US service personnel, less so. The world has become more desensitized. Not good. I agree with you. But, you know, the dailies in this country didn't touch that story. Not one picture, not one column inch, not one write-up. Nothing. It's a bit odd, don't you think? Wonder why that is. Penny Hen says, what the foxtrot is going on, Adrian? I don't know. It's weird. It's mad. It's chaos everywhere. Let's bring some order out of chaos. This is from Matthew Godwin. Thank you, Penny Hen and Robert Francis. Matthew Godwin says, Steve Wright was a national treasure of the like we will never see again. When I heard the familiar jingles from Steve's big show, Monday to Friday, played recently as part of the tributes to him, I burst into tears, realising just how much he meant to me during 44 years of broadcasting on BBC Radio 1 in the 80s and from 95-96 to 2022 on Radio 2, as well as the Radio 1 Roadshow in the summer months, and on top of the pops on BBC 1. He was hugely talented and deserved all of the awards and recognition for his hard work. Each show, including the pre-recorded Steve Wright Sunday Love Songs, was a masterclass in how to be a DJ and presenter. It was like having a best friend round to keep me company. He lifted my spirits on many occasions, heartbroken beyond words, but grateful for having been around to hear him. Rest in peace, Steve Wright, Ed Stewart, Terry Wogan, Jimmy Young, Brian Matthews, Paul O'Grady, Desmond Carrington, David Jacobs and Richard Baker. Melodies for You, Radio 2, Janice Long and brother Keith Chegwin, Cheggers Plays Pop. Thank you for the years of joy, laughter and appreciation for music. You don't know what you've got until it's gone. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being my friend. And, you know, a lot of these old Radio 2 boys, they're getting on now. And I think we should show them some kind of appreciation. I mean, the young Radio 1 kids are still going to be around for a while, but the Radio 2 boys, they must be in their 80s and 90s now. Kenny Everett, Stu Pot, I agree completely. And there is another king waiting in the wings. I don't mean this in the royal sense. I mean this in the radio sense. I've managed to contact one of the men that I believe to be a king of his craft, and I'll see if we can get him on for an interview. And I'm blown away that after all this time we're in touch again. Chris Blythe says, it was the 70s, not the 80s, Adrian. We had 3-day weeks. I remember them. I was only young, but I remember them. Never-ending power cuts, the dead not being buried. Oh, I remember that as well. Rubbish not being collected and food shortages. Never Labour. Hashtag. I can't begin to tell you how rotten this country is going to be under Labour. And I make this prediction, and I've said this consistently through all the time that I've been doing these lives. People don't want to vote for the Tories. They want them flattened and gone. But they're going to stand in the booth and go, holy Jesus, who do I vote for? Can't vote for the Tories. I want them gone. Oh, and I've said to you, is Keir Starmer scaring you yet? They're literally going to kill this country. Because, look, it's very easy to see what the Labour Party do. They just borrow, bankrupt the country, and then they're out of power and they give it to the Tories. The Tories are the shopkeepers. So they come in, try and balance the books, and then they get too corrupt, they get too light-fingered, get caught out, and then they're binned. And Labour comes back in, borrow, and then they bankrupt the country again. I mean, Gordon Brown... he sold off 500 million worth of our gold reserves, physical gold, at the bottom of the bloody market. It would be worth billions now. I'm telling you, on your head be it. You vote with your conscience. Scotty's affirmative. I don't mind admitting, Adrian, I'm an emotional person, and as you get older, you do tend to reflect more from when you were growing up. Radio 1 DJs in the 70s and the 80s were like pop stars. Oh, I remember. Something I don't believe will ever be repeated. I totally agree about the likes of Tony Blackburn and Gambo and Steve Wright and Noel Edmonds. I would even include Gary Davis. Yeah, he's not looking any younger, is young Gary. They're national treasures and should be respected as such. What I would give to go back to the 80s. Oh, hairstyles were a bit dodgy in the 80s, though, Scotty. I mean, the 70s was even worse. I looked at some photos. Big hair in the 80s. I mean, would you want to go back to that? But I agree with you. All those that are national treasures, we need to look after them. Because they give us such happy memories. They might not now, but like 20 or 30 years ago, we can remember it. Music radio connects you to emotion. Straight to emotion. You hear a song and you go, bang, I'm there. It takes you back to a place, maybe of happiness, maybe of sorrow, but it's always emotion. Hiram Abiff says, Adrian, as my grandsons take flying lessons and go from strength to strength in being decent men that I am proud of, I reflect on how an uneducated, piss-poor cockney from Hoxton Market managed to set his family on a path far from the poverty he grew up with and in. That's when I remember it was because of Thatcher's deregulations and home ownership schemes. Any of it was possible, dragging Britain kicking and screaming into the 20th century. Oh, Angela Rayner. She made a few bob from buying council houses. I mean, if you look at the council stock now, it's gone. So they've got to build new houses. Who are they building them for? The English? The Brits? Don't be silly. Ranty Rollick 6, Rambo says, I'm just going to draw a big penis on my ballot paper. Rambo, that literally made me laugh out loud. I'd love to see it. Dr. Drott says, Labour and Tories are like turds in the toilet that won't flush away. Very descriptive. Rusty Mouse, you have ranted magnificently, Adrian. Begum's side is still going for another appeal. I thought this was the last one she could have. No, she's going to the Court of Appeal. We're paying for it. Legal aid. She's not paying for it. It's just, honestly, the legal profession, it's legalised extortion. You never see a poor lawyer or barrister, do you? No. They're making over 7 million out of this case. At least Dick Turpin wore a mask. To IP77, Irish Republic not liking EU forcing them to take illegals, are they? No. Farmers in Europe not pleased with EU rules. France being told to buy substandard food from the Ukraine. All EU rules. Just going to keep that there for Dale Steele, because Dale Steele asks a very pertinent question. But have you seen it all kicking off in Ireland? I mean, it's proper kicking off. I mean, people are managing to... It's a bit like... it's a bit like being, say, behind an iron curtain, if you will, and people doing reportage to get the truth out to the rest of the world. That's what Ireland feels like at the moment. Robert Francis says, Adrian, the growth rate GDP in the UK in 1977 was 4% growth rate. Sorry, in 72. 73, carryover period from pre-entry to Europe, the common market. Do you want your common market? No, don't worry. We're only going into the common market. Look at all this butter. Look at all this milk we're giving away free. Oh, blimey, you can have some of this and you can have some of that. It's all free. Just trust us. We're politicians. What would we do? It's just a common market. Yeah, my hairy backside. Never had high growth or full employment, with only 3% or less unemployed and plenty of training positions. So the carryover from 1973 from pre-entry was 6.5% growth GDP. We're looking at points of percentages now because of these crooked, thieving oiks. It all changed upon and years of mass unemployment and non-existent training opportunities for the working class, and also some of the middle class as get them abroad for free. Many parts of the establishment want Brexit undermined or renegotiated. They will not accept the vote effectively. Brexit does not mean Brexit, but instead, how about EU directives and our harmonising your instructions and negotiating re-entry in stealth stages for those silly voters and their memories of pre-EU? Starmer's done it. He's got a deal going. He's a WEF puppet and he's got a deal going with Europe to get us integrated back into Europe. I'm telling you, there will be civil unrest on the streets of this country. 17 million people. And it's been Project Fear from the day that the political classes never thought that we would vote one way when they thought we were going to do it and stay in Europe. And when we came out, they want our money. They want our money in the corrupt pot. So the politicians in Brussels can... I love that. I love that. I love that. As Robert Francis says, we were lied to upon entry to the EEC, the European Union. Many politicians were internationalists looking forwards to European presidency future. Tony Blair, he only had one job. What, you thought he was going to do best for the Great British Isles, these sceptred isles? No, he had one job, get us into Europe, keep us in Europe. That's why him and Robin Cook signed the Treaty of Rome. Haven't you read it yet? It was only the Brexit vote that got us out of Europe. They signed it. Blair. Blair. Do you want me to say it again? Charles Linton. Google it. His one job was to get us into Europe, integrated into Europe, and the minute he signed the Treaty of Rome, we were fecked. Him and Robin Cook. Bizarrely, Robin Cook died of a heart attack. No reportage around that, was there? Where was I? Fact. Growth rate year before entry, 6% per year. After, never achieved again. Job and training opportunities, usually plentiful. Then morphed to fewer and fewer as could get people from abroad. Jobs then went to 1, then later still over 3 million unemployed. Social mobility is almost impossible for the working class now inside a European Union. Your vote will be undermined, and I have some first-hand knowledge of almost Mr. on Captain Stalin and his love of purge and opportunist McDonald's too is green. Is that Captain Scarlet? What he's doing, I can tell you, is his nature, as in, with you all the way, Jeremy, then 180-degree change. He is establishment who cannot accept the vote. I'm telling you, he's already done the negotiating. He's already done the deal. I keep telling you, I always know more than I can bring to these lives. If I can find a way of communicating it through these lives, I will do. But I have knowledge that's not in the public domain. Let me tell you, Keir Starmer, he's your worst nightmare. Dale Steele says, Adrian, let me put this out there. I've only noticed negatives since we left Europe. Name me one positive of leaving Europe. By the way, I voted to leave. Irish Republic not liking EU, forcing them to take illegals. There's a thing. There's a thing. And I'm going to have to do a video on this because I need to show you some pictures and I can't do that with this setup on the live. How are these illegals, the boat people, how are they wearing life jackets? I'll ask you a second question. Who's supplying those life jackets? Doesn't take Einstein. Us. So, we're being told that it's OCGs, organised crime gangs, that are getting them in the boats and then getting them across the channel into Kent, Dover. So how comes they're wearing life jackets? Who's giving them the life jackets? Who's paying for those? Well, me and you. But who's giving these illegal entrants life jackets? Because they're in France when they get the life jackets, not over here. France. So they'll still not to be contentious, but farmers. So we've got Germany, Spain, France, bit of Italy. There's others kicking off. Ireland's kicking off. They're all kicking off about EU rules. We're free of that for the moment. And there's France being told to buy substandard food from the Ukraine. So if people are willing to demonstrate for causes, why aren't they demonstrating for us, for me and you? Because we are heading towards civil unrest. You don't pee off the Brits because we're the best fighters in the world. Why do you think the special forces go up north? Northeast of England, Scotland, Northerners. There's a few shandy drinkers in there, but mostly because we've had a tough upbringing and we're not easily broken. So if anybody wants to take us on, brilliant! Brilliant! I'm up for it. Anytime, any place. Because that's what we Brits do. We've never lost a world war. That's where we're going. Because you now have the knowledge. I've given you sufficient knowledge on this live tonight for you to get all the geopolitics, everything that's going on in the world. You just have to sit there and watch it all unfold. Now, the Middle East, that might take another 5, 10, 15 years, the same as Ukraine, same as what's going on in the Black Sea. Crimea. Just keep watching. Just keep watching the maneuverings of Putin and, I mean, dear Lord, you can't have Biden lead America. You can't, man. It'll be Barack Obama or Big Mike. Have you heard those? Have you seen the pictures? Big Mike? Life is, it's just all surreal. But I've given you enough information in this live alone for you to see through all the BS. All of it. From 9/11 all the way through to today. Crimea, Ukraine, Black Sea. If you don't hear from me again, it's been a blast. But I'm sure I will. I'll be back on Sunday, 8 o'clock. We'll do another one. We'll talk about something else, or maybe we'll stay the same. But please spread the word about the channel. I would love it if you could do that for me. Let's get over 100 likes. Yeah, utter wrong-uns. And maybe one day I'll go into politics. They won't let me. They won't let me. I've already upset for some very powerful people. Look after yourself. Be well. My name's Adrian Allen. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, but most of all, your indulgence. Don't forget the Battenberg. The church doors will open and reconvene. The sermon starts at 8 on Sunday. Got more videos coming tomorrow for you. See you later.